righteous. So this is it, isn't it? You know, we look good. We have our designer suits on. Our hundreds of pounds hairstyle and shoes and on the luxury cars and all that. That's neither here nor there. It is what spirit is running you. How obedient are you? How pliable are you in the hand of God? Let's look at the appearance of our leaders. Matthew 23:1. Then spoke Jesus to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. We're reading from verse 1 down to verse 6. All therefore whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do. But do not ye after their works, for they say and do not. For they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne, and lay them on men's shoulders, but they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers. But all their works they do for to be seen of men. They make broad the phylacteries and enlarge the borders of their garments, and love the uppermost rooms at feasts, and the chief seats in the synagogue. I have to tell you that things have got seriously worse since that time. Because Christ said there, whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do, because they sit in Moses' seat. I have to tell you that the churches now, the governments now, you can't do what they tell you to do. It's wrong. The churches are in rebellion. Now some people think that I carry on too much about rebellion. I'm on and on about the Sabbath. You just never get off the Sabbath. You never get off Christmas and Easter and Halloween. You're always on about the feast days. Clean and unclean meat. Why? Because God is always on about it. It may not be a big deal to you, but it's a big deal to Him. Read it. Read Jeremiah. Read Ezekiel. It says, you have polluted my Sabbaths. You have broken my commandments. You ignore them. My commandments. If it's big for God, I have to tell you, it's big for me. So don't come and tell me about all these good people. Of course they're good. I never said they weren't. But the question is, do they listen to and obey what the eternal God tells them in His Word and directly? And I have to tell you, in my experience, most do not. I'm not saying all. I have never ever said all. And as I said last night, I will say again, we are suffering. We are suffering lack. We are suffering in our health. We are suffering in our mind. We are suffering in every way imaginable because we are in rebellion. Of course, God is calling people out of the churches. He said, come out of Babylon. That is the main pillar of our website. Come out of Babylon. So people are being pulled out of living the lie. I don't know who all these people are, but I know they are. I know they're there because we have been told this 6-7 years ago. God said, in time I will introduce you to some of these groups. But you know, up to now He hasn't. I'm not outside looking for them either. When He's good and ready, He'll introduce them to us. He told us so. I believe Him. Meanwhile, I just do what I'm told. You see, even good works is living a lie. Good works is probably one of the biggest problems we have. Should we do good to other people? Yes, of course we should. But we should do as God bids us, not what we want. Because we like this person or we fancy that person. You see, good works, while you are in a state of rebellion, is still sin. It doesn't cover sin either. So if you are in rebellion, you are in a condition of sin, whether you are doing good works or not doing good works. You see, the lie of charity. 1 Corinthians 13:1. Though I speak, we all know this, believers anyway. Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels and have not charity, I am become as sounding brass, or a tinkling cymbal. And though I have the gift of prophecy, we've got people all over the place telling me they are prophets, telling me they are apostles. I've had them here in my house. I've visited them. I've said, how could you be saying this? It's not in the Bible. Oh, we're going to pray for this place and that place. And I'm saying, great. But why? And when you have prayed for this place, because of the use of the place, and you leave the place and go away, and the moment you go, the building is used to continue the very same immoral acts, criminal acts, sinful acts. Is your prayer going to stop all this? If they were carrying out human sacrifice, is your prayer going to stop it? Or is it going to continue? I ask myself hard questions, but I also ask others hard questions when they're telling me things. If I understood all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith, so that I could remove mountains, and have not charity, I am nothing. God is so wise. I always shake my head. He didn't use the word love. He used charity. Isn't it amazing? Though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned, and have not charity, it profiteth me nothing. How much more can you do but give your body to be burned? God says that's not the issue. If we don't obey, and we continue living a lie, we continue to suffer individually and collectively. But eventually, we will acknowledge that our, quote, better way, unquote, does not work. Go look at our video, The Last Disaster. Ezekiel 34, Jeremiah 25 tells us what our leaders are doing. We'll do that in another video on that. I think we'll make a special video about Ezekiel 34. Churchianity is a major part of our problem. But you don't think that this thing I read about Pastor Hagee is a big deal? It's a massive deal.